what can we learn from Krispy Kreme donuts as it applies to server names? That and more on this edition of SaaS Made IT for the SMB, where we focus on IT advice for small business owners, especially ones that don't have any IT staff. Of course, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It'll help. If you hit the bell notification, you'll get notified if you're on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, hit the link to the YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe. All right, so long time ago, I worked for a big company and we actually tested our disaster recovery plan, which it was actually pretty, a bit of an oddity. We were pretty unique to actually, we would take our backup tapes, we would fly to Mississauga. We had 32 hours of testing time. So we'd land there at about 4 o'clock. We'd start work the next day at 8 a.m. We work for 16 hours till about midnight. We would sleep for 8 hours, and then we'd have 8 hours left out of our 32 hours. So we would arrive at 4 o'clock, and one of the first things we would do, we go for supper, and then after that, we would go to the Krispy Kreme donuts in Mississauga. So I remember the first time seeing a Krispy Kreme donuts, how they're made. I was truly amazed. Like, to see the donuts floating down that vat of oil, and then they get flipped over automatically, and then they go through the stream of icing. It was such a beautiful thing. Now, you have heard, perhaps you haven't, but servers should be named and treated like cattle versus being treated like pets. So what does that mean? That means instead of giving them cute names, Lord of the Rings, Greek mythology, there's a variety of things people have done over the years. You don't treat them like pets, you treat them like cattle. And so, their name doesn't last very long because the server doesn't last very long and it's going to disappear. And so you don't get attached to your servers. So, people love their servers because they're nice metal boxes in the data center. They can go and hug them. No, that's not what we're looking for. So you're looking for virtual servers that get destroyed. Instead of a server being upgraded, you roll out a whole new server and destroy the original server. And you use your load balancer to cut over to the new one so you don't have downtime. The nice thing about Krispy Kreme donuts is you don't have to add anything extra to them. They are perfect, just the plain ones. And if they're cold, you nuke them for 8 seconds and then they're good to go. So just like your servers, you don't need to be all fancy with them. You just want generic Krispy Kreme donuts and you just want to produce tons of them. Okay, so when we're thinking about naming these servers, I found this beautiful article. It's a great blog post. It's the best one I've seen so far. I'm going to put a link in the description below or in the post. Check it out. You'll be better for it. And more importantly, if you own a business, ask your IT person to follow by the standards in this article. The benefit of this will be that your servers will have a proper naming scheme. It'll help with your documentation, your disaster recovery plan. It'll help when you have different IT contractors. They'll know what's going on. I'm going to give you the quick gist of that article. The point is you create a name for each server. It's a random name based off a list of names, 1,633 names, and they're all short names, so they work well with servers. And then you create an alias, so a separate name that points to that first name. And that alias name will be named as the function of what you're doing. So if it's a web server, it might be named web1, and then you might have a subdomain in there. So like .prod for production, or .test for test, or .dev, then .yourdomain.com. And that's the basic gist of how this server naming convention works. It's actually quite a smart one, and it looks like it's been well thought out and designed for the small and medium-sized business. So do yourself a favor, follow the naming scheme, and life will be roses. Well, no, but one piece of the pie might be taken care of. Speaking of pie, I do like myself some lemon meringue pie. I'm not sure if that's better than Krispy Kreme donut or not. All right. Hope you're having a good day.